Alright, welcome in guys, welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you joining me. And before I get to today's topic of the video, I just want to go over a few things with you. We are going to be talking about the Maxx V2 that I purchased, I'd say it's been about a month ago, and whether or not it is beneficial to buy used versus new. Well, when I first looked at the Maxx, it was from a friend of mine that had it, and he wasn't into the hobby like a lot of people are. He just got it for fun and bashed it around. I don't think he ever did anything to it. I'm pretty sure he didn't maintain it the way you should properly maintain your vehicles. So with that being said, it did have a blown tire when I first got it, and I didn't want to just buy the one tire. So I bought a whole set of tires, which cost me about $80. And that pretty much got the truck up and running. And me being me, I took the truck completely apart just to check on everything. And I did notice it had some seized bearings, so I had to buy a new bearing pack. And if you're already in the hobby, you can save a lot of money if you already have batteries and stuff like that. Which I had a LiPo charger because I'm into FPV drones and stuff, but I did not have any batteries. So I spent about $100 on batteries, $80 on tires, $30 on a bearing pack. And I did eventually, last week, the servo went out, so I had to buy a new servo. This is an Amazon servo. It is all metal geared with an aluminum case. And it cost about $55. It's a no-name brand called RC Enjoy, and it's pretty powerful. It's a 55 kilogram servo, so it's a lot better than the stock one, but the durability is to be determined. And I also put a new servo saver in because there was a lot of slop in the steering, and I did purchase new shock mounts. That wasn't needed to get the car running. I put an M2C battery tray in so I could run aftermarket batteries because, as you all know, they're a lot cheaper than the Traxxas batteries, which are pretty expensive in my opinion. Alright, so I also put on 17 millimeter wheel hexes, and that is an upgrade in my opinion because the stock shaft on the Maxx is pretty small. I did put all new differential fluids in. I'm not going to count that as a cost because it wasn't a necessity. They did have fluid in them, but I just wanted to change them and start from a fresh slate. So I replaced all the differential fluid. And then about a week ago, I had a bearing go bad on the back. So I replaced the rear differential the main bearing on the outside of it. And that was about $15. And I did have a cracked front bulkhead, so I replaced the bulkhead. It was about $12. So I would say altogether, getting the truck up and running properly with the new servo and the new tires and the bearings, plus the $175 that I paid for the truck, I'm into it for right around $350, $400. So a little bit cheaper than what you buy one new for, which is about $600. So in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, if you know the person that owned the car and you know it's well taken care of and nothing is in drastic need of attention or is going to go out on you pretty soon, I would recommend you buy a used car if you know that it's in good running condition and it's not going to need something immediately, because the tires and the servo is a pretty big investment in my opinion, but everybody's different. So if I had the choice to do over again, I probably would have bought a new car to start with, but it just depends on the situation and the person you're buying it from and the deal that you come across. So that's my opinion on buying used versus new. Alright, so the topic of this video today is going to be 3D printed tires. Now these tires are not my design. I found these on Maker World, which is Bamboo's website, and this is a TPU printed tire with a PETG wheel. You can use probably PLA or ASA, ABS would probably be ideal, but I don't use those materials, and this is what I had readily available. So I'm using PETG for this demonstration. I've heard mixed opinions about these. I heard PETG is a little brittle when it gets cold out, so I don't think they're going to be able to take an extreme bashing. But if you're in the snow, there shouldn't be a whole lot of force on the wheel hubs, and I got a lot of hopes for these. So we're going to take these out and do a little test run on them, and I'll let you guys know how they work out. And if they work good, I will put the file in the video description, and you guys can give them a try for yourself. All right, so stay tuned, and we're going to get right to it. Just like that. As you can see, when I land, it just wants to dig in. But if I set it up on top, all right, let's go get them paddle tires on and see if she can't dig through some of this powder. All right, so these tires, this is a PETG rim. It's 2 pieces, and that is a TPU wheel, or TPU tire, a PETG wheel. And as you can see, this wasn't supposed to be multicolored. I ran out of red and had to finish it with the blue. So I'm gonna go ahead and spin this thing around like this. Go ahead and get these changed out. These are a tight fit, which is good. You don't want them to be loose, but I have to drive it onto the hex with the driver. All right, let's get a front one. Ooh, that one was loose. Heard a lot of people telling me that this Pet G, that one went on really good. This Pet G gets really brittle in the cold temperatures, so we'll see how long they last for. Give them a shot, you know. Get our controller, turn our controller on. Then we'll turn the truck on. Now that TPU gets a little brittle in the snow as well, I can hear it. Definitely get more traction than the stock wheels. Definitely got more traction, let's say that. Tell you though, they have more traction when you're accelerating, but if it gets to fishtailing, they really slide. That's the one downfall I've noticed so far. They really slide around. See, it wants to fishtail a lot because there's no lateral, there's no knobs. I think it would be better if it had some little knobs to keep like some knobs in between the paddles, just to give it a little bit of lateral traction. It definitely throws some snow, that's for sure. Uh-oh, something happened. I think we might have broke some hexes. What did we break? What did we break? Okay. So as you can see, one of the screws to my Kicks Racing shock shafts or shock extenders backed out. I don't think it might have snapped, but it's definitely gone. Got to make sure you use Loctite. Yeah, as you can see, I don't think it snapped off. I'll have to get something to poke that out with. Oh, we got a rear hex back here that's broken. See this wheel? I think we went a little too hard with it. Yeah, that hex is broken. You see? I broke the hex on that rim. Yeah, so not too good so far. As you can see right here, it spun the hex right off the shaft. So they lasted for a little bit. I think that's the only one that broke. No, this front one here's got a crack in it. we got it. I think we got it. Yeah, see, same thing happened here. It didn't completely fail, but it's cracked in 4 different spots. So, we got a front failure, a rear failure. This one appears to have held up well. Looks like it might be a little crack at the top of the rim there. Other than that, I don't see anything too bad. All right, so we got 2 failures and 2 good ones, one on each side. One from the front, one from the rear. All right, guys, I just wanted to take a minute to give you a little bit closer look of what happened. I didn't even notice that the tire had failed until I seen the car was sitting on the ground on the left side. What had happened was this mounting point where my shock mounts to the riser, the screw came out, and they were all thread locked in. The other 3, I had a tough time getting them back out, so I'm not sure if that one just didn't have the same amount of thread locker on it, but it did back out on me. So I put nuts on the end of them and added a good bit more thread locker, so they should hold for now. And one of the wheels in the rear, the hex is blowed out. I guess it just got cold and brittle and just chipped right out of it. But the front one, it's got some cracks in it. It didn't completely fail like the rear one did, but overall, I wouldn't suggest using PETG as a wheel. But the tire out of the TPU 95A seems to hold up really well. It was a little brittle in the cold. I'm sure you could hear the tires clacking off of the ground, but we're going to stay at it. I did not design these tires or the wheels. This is a file I got off of Maker World. It's Bamboo Labs website. And there's some other options on there. I think we want to give it a shot. There's one where a wheel is totally made out of TPU. So I think that could be a better option. All right, that's going to do it for this one. I appreciate you watching. We'll see you in the next one.